There are over 600 people on California death row. Darnell Washington, 7 years on death row. After escaping from jail on robbery charges, Washington broke into the home of a kindergarten teacher, stabbed her to death, and stole her car. Johnny Lopez, 7 years on death row. On November 9, 2013, Lopez killed his wife, 36-year-old Joanna Angel Barrientos Lopez, and his 5-year-old daughter Mia. 2 shots to the head were fired to each victim. Subsequently, they were found in the living room of Lopez's single-story home. He drove to the house of his ex-girlfriend following the shootings. With a stolen axe and knife from a nearby property, he took control of the 30-year-old victim and essayed her. Lopez cut the woman's throat partially with a knife. He said he did this to get rid of his baggage. Lorraine Hunter, 7 years on death row. She murdered her husband to collect a life insurance policy. She also convinced her daughter to help kill her stepfather, and the daughter was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Luis Rodriguez, 16 years on death row. Rodriguez was found guilty of killing 2 guys from a rival Latino gang as a member of another Latino gang. He had already been given a life sentence for another murder for which he was implicated. In 2018, he also murdered a fellow death row inmate. Michael Flinner, 20 years on death row. Flinner is incarcerated on death row for killing Tamra Keck in 2000. He contacted Tamra Keck, his fiancée, on June 11, 2000, when she was shopping. In order for her to assist in jump-starting Juan Ontiveros, also known as Juan de la Torre, his former employee, he instructed her to meet him at a nearby gas station. After picking Ontiveros up from the gas station, Keck drove to his car, which was parked in a nearby cul-de-sac. Keck was fatally shot in the back of the head by Ontiveros, who approached her from behind while she was holding the hood of her car open. Flinner's business was not profitable, and he arranged the murder of his girlfriend to collect a life insurance policy. Miguel Crespo, 31 years on death row. In October 2013, Crespo had only 8 hours in a cell at Kern Valley State Prison with Carmen Guerrero, a transgender woman. However, in those 8 hours, he tortured, tied, and killed her. As a result of his 1993 Los Angeles County murder conviction, Crespo was already serving a life term. 1 person was killed, and another was seriously injured when he fired a gun into a car. Harold Ray Memro, or Reno NFN, 37 years on death row. Reno was formerly known as Harold Ray Memro prior to changing his name in 1994. He was given the death penalty after being found guilty of killing 3 little boys. Ronald Peters, 38 years on death row. He was convicted of first-degree murder committed during a robbery. Isao Aguirre, 6 years on death row. 8-year-old Gabriel Fernandez of Palmdale, California, passed away on May 24, 2013, after being beaten 2 days earlier by his mother, Pearl Fernandez, and her boyfriend, Isao Aguirre. Gabriel had endured months of abuse and torment. Isao Aguirre and Pearl Fernandez were found guilty of first-degree murder under extraordinary circumstances involving torture. Prosecutors claimed that since Aguirre thought Gabriel was gay, he mistreated him. Pearl received a life sentence without a possibility of release, and Aguirre received the death penalty. Luis Bracamontes, 6 years on death row. On October 24, 2014, Bracamontes opened fire on 3 sheriff's deputies in the Sacramento metropolitan area, wounding 1 and killing the others. A civilian was also hurt during the incident. Mexican national Bracamontes was convicted of substances trafficking, and he was an illegal immigrant. Eric Jimenez, 6 years on death row. For a number of killings as well as other offenses, Eric Jimenez received a death sentence. He is a gang member who was previously convicted of 2 counts of murder. According to the prosecution, one of the murders happened in a jail. David Ponce, 6 years on death row. Max Rafael, 31, and David Ponce, 36, were found guilty on 1 count of kidnapping and 5 counts of murder. At a camp of tents next to the 405 freeway in 2008, Vanessa Malepule, Frederick Neumeyer, Hamid Shaifat, Catherine Verdun, and Lorenzo Villicana were discovered shot and killed. Rafael and Ponce, who had been captured on tape ostensibly boasting about the murders to a jailhouse informant, were indicted by authorities 4 years later. In addition, Ponce was found guilty of abducting and killing Tony Bledsoe, whose body was discovered in Lake Los Angeles in 2009. John Felix, 5 years on death row. On October 8, 2016, Felix started shooting after police were called to his residence for a domestic argument. He shot 21 times at the cops, leaving 2 dead and numerous others injured. After Felix barricaded himself in the house, SWAT team members sprayed tear gas into it, leading to Felix's arrest more than 12 hours later. Rigoberto Villanueva, 5 years on death row. Villanueva stabbed his ex to death with a screwdriver in Whitewater and strangled his prison mate in Banning. Israel Guardado, 4 years on death row. He set his own mother on fire. He poured gasoline over his mother's head and lit it. She had 50% of her body burned in the second and third degrees before witnesses could put out the fire. Officer Ryan Kitchens of Indio Police Department stated during the trial that on January 26, 2018, as he parked into the Mattis Brothers parking lot, he was approached by a woman who looked to be suffering from severe burns and had smoke emanating from her body. Francisca Ramirez's skin seemed to be peeling in places, and her garments had been burned off. She strode back and forth, appearing sorrowful, astonished, and rather calm despite the fact that she only spoke Spanish. When her brother found out what happened, he died of a massive heart attack. She also died weeks later in the hospital. Vincent Marpol, 4 years on death row. Convicted of torturing his ex-girlfriend for hours, recording parts of the fatal attack on a cell phone video, he drove around with her body until the cops discovered it in a rural Hemet neighborhood. Charles Meritt, 4 years on death row. He killed a family of 4. Meritt received life without parole for the murder of former business associate Joseph McStay, 40, and death for killing McStay's wife, Summer, 43, and their children Gianni, 4, and Joseph Jr., 3. Michael Gargiulo, 3 years on death row. Originating from Glenview, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, Gargiulo fatally stabbed 18-year-old Trisha Pacaccio in her backyard. Her father discovered her body the following morning, August 14, 1993. Purportedly fleeing Illinois police investigation, Gargiulo relocated to Los Angeles in 1998. From 2001 to 2008, he committed 2 murders and 1 attempted murder in Southern California. He killed 22-year-old Ashley Ellerin on February 21, 2001 by stabbing her 47 times in her Hollywood home. Ellerin suffered serious punctures to her back, stomach, and chest in addition to a neck wound that almost decapitated her head. Her wounds reached a depth of 6 inches in some cases. Detective Tom Small reported that one of the stabbing wounds actually penetrated the skull and took out a chunk of skull like a puzzle piece. Ellerin had arranged a dinner and drink date with actor Ashton Kutcher for the evening of the murder. Gargiulo fatally stabbed his neighbor, Maria Bruno, 32, in her El Monte, California home on December 1, 2005. She sustained 17 stab wounds. On April 28, 2008, Gargiulo made an attempt to kill Michelle Murphy, a 26-year-old neighbor, at her Santa Monica home. She repelled the assault, and at the scene, blood that matched Gargiulo's DNA was discovered. On June 6, 2008, the Santa Monica Police Department placed Gargiulo under arrest. The Cook County State's Attorney charged Gargiulo of killing Trisha Pacaccio in the first degree on July 7, 2011. It's not clear to me why it took so many years for him to face trial and conviction. His trial was set to start in October 2017 after a pretrial hearing in Los Angeles Superior Court on June 9, 2017. On May 2, 2019, his trial started after some delays. Actor Ashton Kutcher testified about the crimes in May 2019. Gargiulo was found guilty on all counts on August 15, 2019. On October 7 the same year, the penalty phase of his California trial started. After several hours of deliberation, a jury found Gargiulo guilty of capital murder on October 18, 2019. However, defense motions continued to postpone Gargiulo's sentence in California. Finally, on July 16, 2021, Gargiulo received a death sentence. Investigators suspect Gargiulo killed more people because he allegedly informed them in the Los Angeles County Jail that the fact that 10 women were slain and his DNA was found on them does not prove he killed anyone. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.